Oh, it feels absolutely wonderful to be back. Feels like, family, because I know pretty much everyone as a man. During the past 5 years, there's been constant, exchange with this project. So, very, very happy to be back.
小朋友，你想学吗？想学的话，可以让妈妈给你报名。
她不是我妈妈。
哦，没关系的，现在学是最好的开始。
I participated next step in 2024. No, the winter of 2023, actually. We spent a week in Monandande and with a lot of script workshops. The script back then, I remember, was slightly different. We had longer scripts with a focus more on the third family. After working with the script consultants, actually let me rethink about the structure of the script and what I really want to talk about, what I really want to focus on. So it really has tremendous help in this writing process. And then when we came back to Paris for the industry meeting, I met up with a lot of people in the French industry, and eventually led us to work with one of our French producers. I think the idea was inspired by my family history. My nai, my paternal grandmother, was given away after birth in 1936. But I set the story in 1990s. It's a period of time I grew up with. So it's like a mixture of, my own childhood memory and my imagination of what my grandma's childhood would be like and how she grew up as a teenager and all that. I also interview some women with similar experience, but around my age. It helped me enter the mentality and psychology of this girl, of why she behaved the way she behaves, why she made the choices that she make. So I think it's a mixture of all that, of real people, real events. With the women I interviewed, I think they all share a deep lack sense of security. Like they feel deeply insecure. They feel this deep sense of unworthiness. When I write about this girl's internal journey, I will their stories on the back of my mind, because I didn't go through that. So I try to be as close to their internal world as possible. I have the structure first, so I always know she has three identities as she shifts through different families. I always know it would be chapter, chapter, chapter based on her names. So I have the structure in the very, very beginning. As I started writing, I think things just start to build upon each other. And I think I started with this one image on my mind, or a memory on my mind. When I was a little kid, my grandmother would take me to the countryside, very similar to the one that's shown in the movie, to spend the summer. Like every summer, she would take me there. That's where where she where she grew up. I always had that kind of image, like the river, the a lot of greens, and the animals and the insects, like the sound and the rain, the traditional, like the houses, which we don't see very often these days. So I had that kind of vivid memory in my mind. So yeah, that's how I started. How I started the story. I wanted to revisit that world so much. So yeah. Nature is the scene that we open with. It shapes who she is as a little child and it stays with her inside of her for her whole life. I think it also gives her a strength. She was wild, she was very carefree in the nature, but as her life goes on and as unfortunate things that she encounters, it kind of that kind of sunlight becomes dimmer and dimmer, and the warmth that the sunlight brings becomes it seems like more buried in her, but I think she never lost that part of her. So in the end, I think she kind of goes back to her innocent youth, where we see again like the insight from her childhood, all that images like from the nature, it all comes back to her. So it's kind of this complete journey for her. Yeah. I'll start with the small actress. We auditioned a lot. I think we auditioned for maybe all the child actors available in China. I seen so many audition tapes. I didn't give her the full script with the small actress, but I tried to create a very safe and very secure, welcoming environment for her, so she can be very present and very confident in whatever reaction that to that moment. So I want to give her the full allowance, and she feels she is loved by everyone in the crew. So she can that thing inside of her, she feels whatever emotions that she give is valid, whatever emotion that she give will not be judged. I think that's very important. Plus she is a very natural uh actor, like she has that talent in her. It's a very natural talent. I think with the older actress, she has great experience, but I think at the same time, she is very, very sensitive and very instinctive. I think they share this sense of sensibility in common, the young actress and the older actress. Yeah, and it kind of has this very strong will and the strength inside both of them that you can see carry through kind of seamlessly from the little girl to her. So we, I think I wasn't surprised when the transformation happened. I kind of feel like they are kind of like the same person. I think the one specific particular scene of the dancing is the one she was sexually harassed. We can feel her pain, but we can also feel her strength. In that very moment, she was smiling. She was trying to hide her pain, but she is also using her body to manifest that strength, and that is very important for me. I think that kind of sets what the movie is about. Yeah. I think casting. Casting, I think, is far foremost the most important process.